Today Felix and I are going to be showing you how to train back. So we're going to be attacking that back. First thing that I like to do for pull-ups, even as a beginner in the gym, learn how to do pull-ups. It's a great exercise. It's a very basic exercise, one you can do with body weight. If you are a beginner and can't do it alone, you can always have someone help you out. And the reason I think it's important to start off with this is everything is based, so many different back exercises are based dependent upon, being able to use your own body weight. It's a good measure of strength. The first one, just a nice warm-up set to get some blood in there. We're gonna be using a medium grip for the first one, and then 3 working sets. We're gonna be adding some weight here at the end to try to force out a couple more heavier reps. But let's get started. Okay. Making sure I go down far enough, not extending the elbows, not locking out, but going down far enough, and then squeezing back. You'll notice that I keep my elbows back as wide as I can and pull up to my chin. That's it for our warm-up set.
Very nice to see that his elbows are in the same position like his head, and not his elbows are in the front. So
in back training, you have lat width versus back thickness. So for the width, we do things like pull-ups and pull-downs. For the thickness of the back, we do more rows. And again, changing up hand placements will work the lower, the outer, the inner, so we'll talk more about that. Here, primarily we're working on that width of the back. And one thing that I noticed when I hold the bar, so pull any kind of back movement,
okay,
I keep the bar, or in this case, the pull-up bar, in my palms.
Okay.
And what I mean is I keep my thumb on the same side as my fingers. Okay. When you wrap your thumb around the bar, it brings more bicep involvement into it. Because anytime there's more pressure on your fingertips, it's going to be more biceps.
Okay.
If you can think of your hands just as hooks and keep the palms, the palm portion around it, then you're using it more as hooks, and only your back is working instead of your bicep. We're jumping into our
working set.
Our working set here. So I'm going to be using good form, not a lot of swing in there. We're going to be doing this one. I'm going to shoot for 12 to 15 reps. And then for the next set, we're actually going to increase with some weight. Set one down, get a good stretch. Again, about 90 seconds in between this. Let your partner go in between. If your partner can't get pull-ups by themselves, as a spotting partner, I'm going to help his legs just enough and assist him up to where he can continue doing the reps.
And I decide by myself how strong you help.
Yes, you only help him enough that he's able to perform the chin up. You don't want to be doing it for him. Good.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna be moving on to our next working set. If you're strong enough and you can get at least 15 on your own, try adding some weight. So here, I'm gonna be keeping a dumbbell between my feet. I'm gonna be trying to perform as many as I can with the dumbbell.
The pro of dumbbell is that if you want to do a drop set, it's easy to put the weight off. If you have a weight belt, you just need some seconds to put it off. If you have a dumbbell, you can put it faster.
Just drop it, yes. So it's very nice. So there, in order to make it a little bit harder, I can do maybe 8 repetitions, and as soon as I fail, I drop the dumbbell and continue the set. All right.
One more, man.
One more. One thing to mention, when you're doing a pull-up, the closer you have your hands, the different part of your back you work. So if your hands are in close, maybe you're doing a neutral grip, very close grip pull-up, or pull down for that matter, you're gonna be working lower on your lat, more down close to where they insert. If you're wider, you're gonna be working more of the upper lat here. So it's important to know when you start progressing, as you get more into advanced training, you're gonna have weak areas. We all have them. You address these weak areas by changing up your training. And that could be as simple as changing up your hand placement. If you want to involve more biceps, what would you do?
If I want to train my biceps, I would do a grip like this one, and then I choose on chin-ups.
Some chin-ups, and that's exactly, we're doing pull-ups here. You could also do chin-ups, bring in a little bit more of that bicep involvement. Also, you can change it up, go behind the neck a little bit tougher on the joint, but it works out the back in a little bit different way. It's more for preference, but give it a go. Do it with all different grips and really get a fully developed back.
That's our next exercise for our back workout. It's a long bar or a barbell row. And why it's an important exercise for our back?
Well, this one's going to be important for anyone, and it's all about the back density here. So this is a heavy compound movement. This is one that you don't take lightly. As a beginner, learn how to do it properly. And that's keeping the back straight. You don't want it to round. Okay. Keeping the chest out, rowing it controlled. And this is the mass builder for the back. Those big back muscles that so many people neglect. Okay. This is the one that's really going to help that out. Everyone likes training chest because you can see it. Yeah. It's a little bit harder to train back. So here, we're going to concentrate on nice, slow movements. We're going to do 1 warm-up set, and then we're going to jump into it, do 3 working sets.
Okay. And to the grip?
I tend to focus more on the overhand grip. Every now and then I'll try this, but it puts too much stress on the biceps. Yes. So what I do is just like I did on pull-ups, where I keep the bar in my palms, and
not
I keep
in the fingers?
Not on the fingers. I keep it in the palms, and my thumb is on the same side as my other 4 fingers. So we're gonna give it a go. First warm-up set, hand placement slightly wider than shoulder width apart. That's just a very neutral grip. Feet about shoulder width apart, bending over, not quite to 90 degrees to about where the bar is at your knees, pulling up right to your abdominals. I'm doing a barbell row. It's like you're hooking in with your hands. And it's all a rotation in the shoulders. It's not a pull. So many beginners, they focus on the weight instead of the movement. And they tend to just pull with their arms.
And do it again. It's nice to see like the elbow from Steve is outside. It's not to the body.
When you do a row properly, your shoulder girdle goes first, squeeze, and back down. So it's not
then you hit your traps.
Yes, and your traps will come into play. Again, there's so many large muscle groups in the back. So. I'm gonna run a little bit more for me, just a little. There we go. Good. All right, so we're on to our first working set. Again, not quite to absolute failure. I'm gonna stop about 1 or 2 reps short. With this exercise, you might want to think about getting a belt. There's a couple variations, and some of them you're bent over quite far. Because we don't have a belt, and because we're really focusing on training the lats here, we're going to be just about, I would say, 45 degrees right in there. But again, squeeze and control the weight on the way down. You don't want to just let the weight drop. That's not doing anything but putting you at risk of injuries. This is an exercise you do have some risk if you don't do it properly. So you want to always make sure that you don't focus on the weight. Focus on the movement and doing it right. All right, jumping in, it's gonna be my second working set. Time to get your game face on. The weight's gone up. We've pyramided up in weight. We're gonna be shooting right here for 8 to 10 reps. Really going for max effort here. This is an exercise you don't wanna start cheating on. You don't wanna start throwing your back into it because your lower lumbar are at a risk of high injury. So keep it strict, go nice and heavy as you can, as long as good form allows, and you know, no playing around.
Don't push your ego, push your muscles.
Another good time, if you have wrist straps, this is a good exercise to use them on because usually your grip fails before your muscles do. All right, third and final working set form, we're gonna push it to the limit. Good, one more. Good. Good set.
Now we show you some variation exercise. If you aren't able to do the barbell row, we have here a solution for you.
Very good. So what we have in here is a incline bench with some dumbbells. So he is going to get up here on the bench, and because his weight is supported with the bench, his lower back isn't as high of risk as it would be on the barbell row. So if you have that lower back injury, this is a good substitute. He's gonna grab the dumbbells, and again, he's controlling each dumbbell individually. So if you have one side that's stronger than the other, this is a good way to balance that out. And he's just gonna row it up and rotate a little bit as he squeezes it right into his lats here. Same type movement, you're able to control it a little bit better. It's not as strenuous on the lower back, and it's a really good variation if you can't do that bent over barbell row. Good job. All right, that is it for our second back exercise, really working those big muscles with the rowing, with the barbell rowing. You know, we did 3 working sets and 1 warm-up on there. Make sure you check your ego at the door there.
Okay.
For our last and final exercise here on our back day, we're going to be performing dumbbell pullovers. Great exercise to really expand that rib cage. It's kind of a controversial topic if you can expand it, but I've always felt like it's lent me more size to develop an impressive upper back and to also really stretch that area and work the serratus as well. Okay. I like doing my dumbbell pullovers lying perpendicular to the bench. So when you're doing the dumbbell pullover, you want to make sure the upper part of your back is laying across the bench. You then take the dumbbell straight directly overhead. Okay. And you want to keep the same angle in your elbows throughout the lift. As you lower the weight, my hips also sink. So you'll notice as the weight lowers, so do my hips. And then pull the weight back over and the hips come back up. Okay. This gives you a really good stretch in the lats here. Okay. So we're gonna be doing one kind of a warm-up set to get the feel for it, and then 3 working sets.
Okay. And the grip is like a diamond grip. You make your fingers like this and fix the dumbbell between your fingers.
Failure. But again, you'll notice the elbow in my angle, it didn't change here. We're not pressing. We're not using our triceps to press. It's all on the lats. You'll feel a little bit in the serratus and up and to stretch that chest as well. Okay. There you go. Just sink those hips as your weight goes back. Good. You see his elbow angle is not changing at all. Letting it sink down, really stretching those lats, and then pulling it back up and over. Time for our next set. We've gone up in weight, taking about a minute break in between sets on here, just long enough for your partner to go, change the weight, and then we're back at it. Get a good stretch in there. It's after a long back day, to stretch it out, stretch those lats out, feels great. And that is it for our back training. Very nice. Well-developed back is going to have lower lats, upper lats with density. These pullovers are a way to really just top it all off, help that rib cage grow, expand, stretch that the serratus is in there as well, set you up for a nice back and chest platform with a good rib cage. For more information about diet, training, supplementation, and overall health, make sure you check out shapeu.de.
Wir sehen uns auf shapeu.de.